Good morning, students. Students, in the previous chapters, we learned how the political and economic policies followed by the British government in India led to growing discontent and anger among many Indians. This led to uprisings against the British in many parts of India. However, most of these were suppressed. But tension continued to simmer below the surface. It finally resulted in the revolt of 1857 that took place in northern and central India between 1857 and 1858. This revolt was started by the sepoys in Bengal, but it soon spread and took on the form of a mass rebellion against the British rule. That's why the Indian historians termed it as the First War of Independence. Students, the impact of the revolt was so widespread that it is also referred to as the Great Uprising of 1857. Yes, this is our today's topic, the Great Uprising of 1857. Bache, now we are going to discuss about the causes of the revolt of 1857. Causes are divided into many parts, like the political causes, social and religious causes, economic causes, military causes, and the immediate cause. Let's discuss one by one. So, the first one is the political cause. Under this, we have first point like subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Actually, what happened? Many Indian rulers lost their territories after the British conquest of India because of these policies, and it caused resentment and insecurity among the affected rulers. We have another ruler named as Peshwa Bajirao. The British refused to accept Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, as his legal son, and stopped paying him the pension that was being given to Bajirao. This caused Nana Sahib to revolt. In 1857, he led the attack on Kanpur. After that, we have the second point, that is social and religious causes. Students, one more point I want to add in political cause before moving to social and religious cause. Here we have about the state of Awadh was also annexed in 1856, and it was annexed on the grounds of misgovernance. And Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was given a pension of 12 lakh rupees and was sent to Kolkata. So now let's discuss about the social and religious causes. The British introduced measures for the legislation of widow remarriage, the abolition of sati, and the improvement of women's education. They also brought in laws that banned child marriage. But the conservative sections of Indian society felt that a foreign government had no right to interfere in or reform the religious and customs of India. Worst of them was the law that allowed a convert to inherit his paternal property. So, this was a conversion of their religion. If they will convert from their religion and opted for the Christianity, then only they will get the right to inherit their paternal property. Now we have third main heading, that is economic causes. Students, the export of raw materials from India and import of finished products from England ruined the Indian economy. Indian handicrafts and small scale industries were destroyed. The British government did nothing to improve India's economy and the standard of living of its people. large scale unemployment and loss of jobs made the country ready for an uprising. This, these all economic causes we had already discussed in our previous chapters. Now let's discuss about the military causes. Students, the sepoys in the army, British army, the company's army, East India Company's army were also unhappy because their salaries were poor and prospects of promotions were little. They were subjected to ill treatment by the English officers. Besides that, the government made no distinction between sepoys belonging to the upper castes from those of the lower castes. They were provided with food and lodging without any separate arrangements. This hurt the sentiments of the upper caste sepoys. In addition to all this, the British stopped the allowance that was paid when the army had to go overseas. For that, the General Service Enlistment Act, which was enacted in the year 1856, and according to that, the sepoys were required that they had to go to anywhere for the service. This was a great cause of alarm, for according to Hindu customary law, crossing the Indus means that one's caste purity was polluted. Students, now let's discuss about the immediate cause. However, the immediate cause of the uprising was the introduction of the Enfield rifles. The rifles had greased cartridges that had to be bitten by the sepoys before fitting them into the rifles. Rumors spread that the cartridges were greased with the fat of cows and pigs. The news spread like wildfire. The sepoys refused to use the rifles, but the officers were not willing to listen to them. This gave the spark to the revolt. So, in this manner, we have completed the causes of the first war of independence.